So yeah, apologies that Rebecca and Robert couldn't make it, but Nikki has kindly stepped in to just talk about how Energy Sparks has helped, helps Eastern Multi Academy Trust.
Thank you. Can you see a new screen now, Rebecca? Brilliant, thank you. I've just spotted there is another question in the Q&A about Solar for Schools. So, do you have anything to do with Solar for Schools? We work quite closely with Solar for Schools. Some of our auditors work directly for them as auditors as well, and some of our workshop delivery team work for Solar for Schools, and one of the Solar for Schools CEO is one of our trustees. So we're a sort of close-knit community, but we're not a sort of direct, doing things at the same time. But we do one part of our Energy Sparks platform. We'll look at the amount of energy that you use and estimate how much you could save if you fitted solar panels. So you can sort of use that in partnership with what Solar for Schools also look at and things like that. So it's yes and no, I think, is the rambling answer for you.
Can I also chip in there? I'd assumed that question was for me. I did want to, but no, it was probably for you. But just so you know, Suffolk councils are looking into launching a Solar for Schools project. So it's not Solar for Schools, that it's just solar panels for schools, if that makes sense. So I will keep the network updated on when that project goes live, but hopefully there's some good news coming your way next year. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Okay, so Rebecca Schroeder from Eastern Multi Academy Trust was going to present these slides. So I have offered to do it for her as she's not very well, and also one of her schools, King's Lynn Academy, were also going to come along and talk about what they've done. But sadly, both of them are off sick today. So I have stepped in. So apologies if I don't do justice to Rebecca's slides. But so here we go. Eastern Multi Academy Trust joined Energy Sparks towards the end of the 2022-23 academic year. So they've got 11 schools who are with us at the moment. And they are lucky enough to have fully funded places. So for those schools that don't get that, the investment is generally paid off very quickly, as Rebecca says here, as long as you use it. So if you have a smart meter, that just sits in your corner or in a carbon and it's not going to help you, it's not going to help you spot your energy use or save money, but also if you're in a different way of not saving money, if you are already with Energy Sparks and you actively use it, you are much more likely to receive a funded place in the future as well. So just a little tip for everybody. But yeah, the trust have been really active. So we delivered some specific training to them at the beginning of this academic year. I think we may have done one last year as well. But the one this year was to their office and estate staff to really help them identify their highest priority actions. And they also have used the energy platform to sort of help them feed actions into their environmental strategy, and then also to monitor progress against that as well. So I'm not exactly sure where these numbers have come from. I'm assuming they've come from one of our school comparisons. However, I did provide them with some figures a few weeks ago, so we'll have a look at this. So they're out of when their school is open, their consumption has reduced by 10%, or just over 10%, since they started using Energy Sparks. And then they're out of hours, so when their school is closed, their electricity consumption has decreased by just under 10%, and their gas use has decreased by about 5%. I did provide them with some sort of financial figures recently. So we did a comparison of the energy used in the last 12 months against the 12 months before the trust joined Energy Sparks. And the reduction in their energy use has saved them over £70,000 in the last year. So it's been a really big success for them. So we compare school energy use data against a number of benchmarks. So for example, we'll look at the amount of electricity used out of school hours against other schools of the same type with a similar number of pupils. And for each of these benchmarks, they get put into different groups. So an exemplar school, super good schools doing really, really well managed are for pretty good schools, top 30%, doing very well, and then all of the other schools fall into this sort of action needed category. So it's not like a slap on the wrist category, you're doing a terrible job. It is other schools can have demonstrated that this is possible. Here are some opportunities for you, and there are definitely opportunities to save if you're in this category. But Eastern have got some very well performing schools. They're currently focusing on base load, I think we've said on here somewhere, and that's the amount of electricity that just sort of buzzes away in the background. So things that are left on either because they have to be, so fridges and freezers and servers, things like that, or security. And then the other things that get left on either on purpose or by accident. And that's one of their main focuses that they're looking at this year. And that's one of the things that we identified during that training earlier this year to really put a lot of effort into. So these are a few things that the Trust are working on at the moment. So getting that increased pupil engagement, they're already doing very well in this. And then having all of the schools getting into the top 25 in the Eastern region. They are doing incredibly well. In fact, I can show you the next slide, but just on the other things as well. So all schools are working towards winning eco schools, or being award-winning eco schools, apologies, and also participating in the National Education Nature Park. So I think I mentioned it earlier on, but one of the features of Energy Sparks is that we have this leaderboard. So every time a school logs that they complete a particular educational activity or an energy saving action, they earn points. And at the end of the year, and actually at the Christmas holidays, we award prizes to the highest scoring schools. And there are also other challenges throughout the year that schools can take part in as well. So Eastern schools are doing really well on this at the moment, a huge amount of engagement. I think the next couple of slides look at that as well. So North Wootton is the first, it's the top of the whole of the country. So I think we've got just under, or around 1,000 schools. I'm not sure if we're just under or just over. Around 1,000 schools across the whole of the UK, and North Wootton Academy are first in their points at the moment. And then also Eastern Matt has 5 schools in the top 25 nationally, which is very, very exciting. And regionally as well, obviously North Wootton are still at the top of that one, but they've got 9 schools out of, I think they've got 11 schools in the trust. So they've got 9 of those are in the top 25 for the region, which is really great. So this is a lovely one for me to have seen this morning. Energy Sparks is here to stay. So they've got much better visibility of their energy use. And they have that bit of, they're bringing a bit of competition in as well. So not just a sort of dry and boring trust strategy, but they're really bringing that competition in between their schools and within their schools as well. Having that way of measuring and highlighting their environmental impact, and having all of those resources to help tie that in with the curriculum as well is what they're really enjoying. So apologies that I haven't got Rebecca and Richard, lost my brain now. Apologies, I haven't got them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, they would have been able to give a lot more sort of personal touch to this one. But any questions from anyone? I can see I've got Katie's hand up.
Sorry, I think I just left it on from before. I'm not very familiar with Teams. Can you tell I'm getting it all wrong?
Was there any questions for Nikki before she heads off? Thank you so much, Nikki. And no, yeah, it is such a shame that Eastern couldn't be here, but hopefully we can hear from them in the future. So yeah, if you could provide your PowerPoint, that'd be great. And obviously we'll link everybody up with your website, and hopefully we can get some secondary schools engaged, if not some primaries, through our Schools Our World programme. So thank you, Nikki.
Brilliant. Thanks so much, everyone. And yeah, if anyone has any questions, my email address, I think, is in the slides, or I'll pop it into the chat box as well. So thank you and take care.
Thanks, Nikki. Bye. Bye. Okay. Right. So we've gone through we've basically just got now a time to talk to each other if you would like. So I've got some questions here. Oh, just before I actually move on to the networking, I just wanted to highlight Let's Go Zero, which I did do in the chat, but Let's Go Zero is completely free. So you can either have a light touch if you just want to sign up for their information, and they'll just keep you in the loop about climate action planning. But there's also the offer of having a climate action advisor come into your school and do an audit and support you in developing your climate action plan. So Jess has put a link to how you register for that today. This is a limited resource, so I would encourage you to do that sooner rather than later. And if they do come in, they will want to talk to you know, your site manager and your head teacher and things like that. So yeah, it's something that I would definitely sign up for sooner rather than later, and they can support you and get into the point where you can start using some of these tools.